Hey guys, it's Arne here again from Surrey, and today we're gonna have a go at trying to repair this Audi, which has a terrible noise from the steering, and I'm not too sure if it's the actual steering or the alternator pulley. As you can see, I've got all the necessary tools, the pulley and the puller set, but first of all what we need to do is tackle the issue of the Great British Summer. For that we have some gin tonic, and then after all the most important things are in place, let's have a go and try what this actually does. I'm going to show you the sound of this. It is actually terrible. Until now you can't hear nothing. So let's see. Removing the belt doesn't take a lot. All you need is a 16mm spanner there on the tensioner, which then you're gonna have to sort of loose up, and then you can remove the belt. Okay, unfortunately I lost some of the footage because the heat got really serious here. The point is, you got a bolt going through here and another one here, and they are not that easy to remove because they actually gonna hit the fan housing. But you can actually push this fan housing away a little bit against the alternator pulley when you have a big enough pry bar like this. So you can just, you know, a little bit push it away like that. It is gonna move, it's not gonna break. And then you get the alternator out, pulling up by the pulley on this little space. It's not gonna be easy, you have to fight the water hose a little bit, but it does come out, don't worry. I did explain how to remove these connections from the alternator. You have this, which you have to actually pry by a screwdriver to get this out. But first of all you have to push this on and pry on the screwdriver, because if you pull it already, this won't click. When you hear the click, you can pull it. And then also you got this massively big connection on the back of the alternator. That's just a 13mm normal bolt, and that is the main charging current cable. So just be very mindful of that, because if that shorts out, your vehicle will go up in flames. So this is the setup you see with the special tool. I'm gonna show you the wrong tool. This is what I bought. This is one of the tools I bought. It actually came in a set. So as you can see, this doesn't come off. The problem being that you can only hold this by a spanner. So that's not gonna serve us very well, because we have to feed the spanner like this. Luckily, they also included this kind of kit, which you can completely take apart and feed the spanner through it. Because what it is, you're actually gonna have to stand on the spanner and push it down like that, because this is a really tight connection, and then your socket will just actually hold against it. This is a normal it's a normal right hand screw, but you've seen it anyway. That's how it comes off, and then you can just put the new one on again, normal clockwise, and then it just goes on. You can see the whole alternator actually spins. That's why you have all these tools, because you're gonna have to hold it with that, then feed that on, then feed the spanner on, then put that on, and then you can tighten it up properly. Of course there is a little plastic cap on the end of this. It doesn't quite matter, everyone knows how to remove that, just a screwdriver and pop it off. So here I've got the new pulley on, and you can actually test it when it's in the car. It's very easy. You just turn this, and as you can see, I can turn it and it carries on spinning one way. You may be able to hear it. That's how it should operate. It should spin one way but not the other. People say you can hold on to these by a screwdriver and just start spinning it. That's one way of doing it, but be very careful, because when the windings are live, you don't want to actually touch anything, although they are insulated, but they are easy to damage. Again, push it down the same way. You can see it just has enough space around it. So as I said before, you can prise this fan a little bit off so that it allows the big bolts to go on here and there. And once you've done that, you put back the electronic connections. Just don't forget the little plastic cap there, because next time you do anything you can short out something. And try not to feed the belt off too much, because it's not that easy to put back. So as it is now, I can probably just pull on it and put it back. So that's the way to do it. Don't let it feed off completely, because it's not that easy to put back on. Access is really tight there, so be careful, because you can lose some skin on all these sharp materials. But actually it can be done without removing this whole front panel, which I detailed in one of my other videos. It is a real big and difficult job, so you don't need to do that for this, and you can actually just take out the alternator and put it back with a new pulley. So let's see the moment of truth, shall we? Start this up and let's hear what the actual steering pump does. Whether the issue was the actual steering pump, the steering rack, or just the alternator pulley. And as you can hear, absolutely nothing goes on. And so the thing I just showed is the actual tensioner pulley, and that tensioner can actually break from all this uneven running what the alternator pulley causes. So you know, you have to replace that at some point. It might be already broken, you can't quite see it because the spring inside can snap in half. It will still work to some degree, but it will be very noisy. But the alternator pulley is definitely something you want to replace if yours doesn't spin one way but it's just stuck. So that's it. I have actually replaced the steering oil in this car. As you can see, it's a green cap, means CHF11S oil goes into it, and not a red automatic transmission oil which most cars receive. This is a bit different. This is a mineral oil, so you're gonna have to replace that. But if your steering is making a noise, it won't be because of the oil. So that's just some good news for someone, hopefully, before you replace the steering rack. So just a bit of explanation for those of you who are more technical minded like I am, because I couldn't understand how it is possible that while my steering pump or steering rack makes a terrible noise, it is the alternator pulley to blame actually. So my idea is, and it's only just an opinion, and if you think it's wrong, just let me know in the comments. So this belt and this pulley is designed to deliver a certain amount of power through the belt, and I believe that when you turn the steering wheel, then it tells the alternator to actually freewheel and take no power off from the system. And if this is stuck or seized up as it is now, it probably just charges the battery and uses the alternator power all the time, which won't leave enough power for your steering pump. Hence the belt will slip and make a terrible noise and scream and everything. That's my idea. I don't know if it's right or wrong. As well, the damper makes a terrible jump when all this happens, so I wouldn't be surprised if the damper would let the belt actually slip. But yeah, you know, most of these cars nowadays, they have electric power steering pump, so that is a lot easier to control that if you do something else. then you know the electric steering pump would still run, because it runs from the battery if the power is not enough on the belt. But yeah, that's my idea. At last there is a result. The car works perfectly and there's no screaming sound anymore, and I'm happy that with like a 15-pound part I managed to repair it, because I was really afraid of my steering rack going, because as I mentioned it had the wrong oil in it. So luckily that didn't damage anything, that didn't compromise the system. I have the CHF11S oil now in it, so that will last, and I'm happy. Bye now.